Good morning Year 5 and welcome to your second online math lesson. So today we're going to be carrying on from what we did yesterday, but this time multiplying 3 digits by 1 digit. So before we begin the lesson, can you pause this video and write the date and the learning outcome in your maths book? And the date should be the 7th of the 1st, 21. And the learning outcome is multiply 3 digits by 1 digit. So if you could do that now, that would be great. Okay, so to begin our explore phase, I've got a question for you on the board. What multiplication are these place value counters showing? So I'd like you to take some time to think about this question, and you can pause the video if needed. So these place value counters are showing the multiplication 123 times 3. We know this because if we count our different columns, the ones, the tens and the hundreds, we can count 123 times 3. So here we have 100, 20 and 3. So let's see what the answer would be. Let's start with the hundreds column. 100, 200, 300. Okay, and now onto the tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. And lastly onto the ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So now what we need to do is add these numbers together to get our final answer. So we've got 360 and 9, and altogether that will be 369. So as a result of these place value counters representing 123 times 3, we now know that the answer is 369 because we've added all the counters together. Okay, so now I have another question for you. How would we represent 315 times 3 using our place value counters? So, like you did yesterday, I'd like you to draw counters in your book to represent the calculation 315 times 3. So pause the video now and take some time to do that in your maths book. Okay, well done everyone. So your answer should look something like this. So these place value counters represent 315 times 3. Because if we look at one row, we have 3 hundredths, 1 10 and 5 ones, which represents 315. But if we want to multiply that by 3, we need to do that 3 times, which we've done here. And to find the answer, we can add all of these counters together. So let's start with the hundreds column. We've got 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 and 900. And now our tens column. 1, 2, 3. So 3 tens is 30. And our ones column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now we know what each column represents, we need to add these answers together. So we've got 900, 30 and 15, which calculates to 945. So therefore, we now know that 315 times 3 is 945. Well done if you got that answer. So this lesson is going to be structured a little differently to usual. Now you have been taught your step 1 input, I would like you to complete your step 1 questions on the worksheet. So what you need to do now is pause the video and answer these questions in your maths book for step 1 before we move on. Okay, so now we're going to start our step 2 explore phase. So I've got a question for you. Do we use the same method when multiplying 3 digits by 1 digit as we do for multiplying 2 digits by 1 digit? So just pause the video and have a little think about that question before we look at the calculation. So the answer to that question is yes, we do, but this time we have one more digit to multiply. So, following on from what we did yesterday, I'd like you to use your knowledge to practice this calculation in your books. So have a go on your own at doing 324 times 2 using the column method in your maths book, and then we'll look at it together. So pause the video now and do that in your books. Okay, so you should have now done that calculation in your books. So firstly, we're going to start by doing 2 times 4, which is 8. So our 8 goes in our ones column here. Next, we need to do 2 times 2, which is 4. And 4 goes here in the tens column. And then lastly, we need to do 2 times 3, which is 6, which goes here in the hundredths column. So our product, or our answer, is 648 for the calculation 324 times 2. So well done if you got that correct. So like we did yesterday for 2 digits, we're now going to use partitioning for 3-digit numbers. So before we look at the calculation, I'd like you to have a go at partitioning 728 in your maths book. So again, pause the video and do that in your books now. Okay, so you should have partitions 728 into 700, 20 and 8. And what I'd like you to do now is times each number by 5, and then we'll come back together. So you're now multiplying each partition by 5. So pause the video and do that in your books. Okay, so you should have now multiplied each part by 5. So firstly, 700 multiplied by 5 is 3,500. 20 multiplied by 5 is 100. And 8 multiplied by 5 is 40. So as always, what we need to do now is add those answers all together to get our product. And our product is 3,640 when all those numbers are added together. So well done if you got each of those calculations correct. Okay, now have a go at step 2 on the worksheet in your books, answering the questions on the screen. So pause the video and answer the questions. Now we're going to look at Explore Phase 3 for Step 3 of the worksheet, which is based on problem solving. So on the screen is a problem I would like you to try and solve. So it says, every year Miss Griffiths buys exactly 136 cake from the cake shop. If we were to look at how many cakes she has bought in the last 6 years, how many would it be? Can you help me, Year 5? Use the method of your choice to calculate this multiplication in your books. So again, pause the video and have a go at that problem in your books. So I've put the answer at the bottom of the screen. So hopefully you should have got that in the last 6 years, Miss Griffiths has bought 816 cakes. I know this because 136 times 6 equals 816. For those of you that are feeling like a challenge, I have put the questions for step 3 of the worksheet on the screen. So if you want to have a go at those, pause the video and complete them in your maths book. And for those of you that found step 3 okay, you can have a go at the extension in your book as well, which is on the screen now. Okay, well done for completing your independent work, and on the screen now are the answers to step 1 and step 2 of the worksheet. So to mark your work, pause the video and have a look at the answers. And now on the screen I've put the answers to step 3 and the extension on the worksheet. So have a look at those and mark your work. Once you have finished all your marking, can you please write a learning comment in your book? If you have purple pen, that is great, but don't worry if not. Okay, thanks Year 5 for all your hard work this morning. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow for maths.